On the edge of the bed, drained. You call it advantages, I call losses and pain. Got loved ones, you need a plan. Don't worry, I got a man, and he be dropping them gems. Who them? We them? Now listen up while he talk to him. Listen, folks, this is part two. Part two of our two-part Sunday series, all right? And I got the big dogs in the building today, all right? Big dogs. In here. All right. I'm your host. Once again, my name is James Levesque. And once again, this is God's work. All right. This is God's work. We're bringing you just people doing great things with their lives. You know what I mean? And this is the gospel on a Sunday, on the third Sunday of each month. If you're listening right now, if you want to join in on the conversation, please do so. 617-282-0685, 617-282-0685. We are also on Roku TV as well as Apple TV as well. All right. So, quick introduction, folks. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some special guests in the studio with us today. We have some Muay Thai fighters from the Hard Knocks Gym in Hyde Park. All right. Let me introduce these guys. And then, matter of fact, y'all can introduce yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can introduce yourself. Go ahead. We're going to start with my man, Alex. Go ahead, bro.
What's going on, people? Name's Alex Brown, a.k.a. Ace. Fighting out of Hard Knocks, amateur fighter, 8-3, trying to work my way up. Going pro.
Boom. Go ahead.
My name is Flavio Brito, also fighting out of Hard Knocks. My record as it sits right now is 17 victories, 8 losses, 2 draws, and we're on our way to making pro too.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Steve Put Him to Sleep Walker. My record is 10-0. I'm currently 2-time North American champion, and also world champion for Lion Fight on promotion.
Big dog. I told y'all, folks. Y'all better stop playing around with us. All right? Y'all better stop playing around. We got the best pulling up in here, okay, on 102.9 FM. Listen, ladies, let me tell you guys this, how I got introduced to the sports Muay Thai, right? How I got introduced to it. My best friend, Gurf, all right? Jeezy, he comes to the gym. You guys know him, right? It's like, that's my main man, 100 grand. He went through a little hard time in his life where he had gotten sick, right? And he started, as he was getting, he was starting to feel better, and he was always going to this gym, right? I mean, always going to this gym. And as life happens, you work and you stop seeing you don't see each other as often. But I know this dude was dedicated towards this gym, right? And he was always saying, "Yo, Jay, you need to come to this gym. You need to come to this gym." So, I'll come. I came to the gym, did a little workout, but I was not continuing with it, right? So, fast forward, I'm in this transition in my life, bro. And I feel like I'm at a state right now where I'm fighting. I got to fight everything that I get, you know what I'm saying? Right. I left this, I left my regular job, I took on this entrepreneurial world. You know what I mean? So I'm fighting. So Jeezy was like, "Yo, listen, I'm about to start going back to the gym." And I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna come rock with you, bro." You know what I mean? So I've been consistently, rocking with this gym for like at least 7 to 8 months now. You know what I mean? And when I tell you guys, if you've never been to Hard Knocks Gym in Hyde Park, you have to go down there. Yes, all right? You have to go down there because, number one, the atmosphere is just so fly. The atmosphere, when you walk into that door and you hear those bats, pop, 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 you hear it, you see it, you're like, "Oh my God, these guys are getting it in right here." You know what I mean? And it gets your juices flowing.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It gets your juices flowing. Let me ask you guys, right? Like, what got you into Muay Thai? You know what I mean? Any of you guys can start. What got you guys into Muay Thai?
Okay. So what got into me into Muay Thai was, so I was incarcerated for 5 years. I came out of jail 2010. I was locked up in Plymouth County facility on for some stuff that I did in my past.
Yeah.
So I say around 2013, a friend of mine named Levi told me about this sport called Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I kind of like brushed it off. I'm like, what is Muay Thai? He's like, you know, it's all the 8 limbs. He started breaking it down to me. So I end up, I want to say like, I end up finding Bill's gym, I want to say like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I found this gym on Groupon's. This is when it was at 98 Business Street.
Yeah.
So I went inside the gym at the old gym, 98 Business Street. But it's like something about that gym. When I walked in that gym, it just felt like it was a family. Like, I don't know, the energy was just real.
Yeah.
Like he was doing like a middle of a workout, and he just stopped what he was doing and, you know, to interact with me. Like, okay, what's going on? What brings you in today?
Yeah.
Some gyms, they will just pretend like you're not even there and just leave you standing there.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to take the time to come to me and let me know, like, hey, okay, listen, I'm gonna finish this round with this student. Let me give you a tour of the gym. It was beautiful, and I just felt like that was my home. So
Wow.
I do Muay Thai basically for like an outlet. You know, that's my outlet to like just let go.
All right, hold on a second. I'm gonna stop you right there. Go ahead. What you know, what got you into the sport?
It's weird because it all started when I was a kid. You know, I've always wanted to train. I've always wanted to, you know, fight and compete, but I wasn't really allowed as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
My family, I grew up with a single mother and a grandmother, and they all, like, because I was getting in too many fights in the street, they did not want me to train as well, because they said, it's like, why am I gonna pay for this if you're already doing this, like,
right.
type situation, and they didn't want to make the situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which it is counterintuitive that it would have helped me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, I grew up in Brazil. I moved over here, and fast forward to about 2009. I met Bill around 2008, and at around 2009, I started training with him, and I've been there ever since. And originally, I wanted to start training Muay Thai because I wanted to get into MMA. I wanted to stop fighting MMA, but after my first couple of Muay Thai fights, I just completely fell in love with the sport, and everything else kind of like took a back burner, and I felt like it was something that I finally found that I was like really good at and that I could excel at, and there was no, you know, like there were no excuses other than, you know, like if I did the work, I did well. If I didn't do the work, I didn't do well. You know, like this, like, and so I started fighting because of that.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what got me started.
Okay, Ace. What got you into the sports of Muay Thai?
For me, it was kind of similar with Flavio. I started off young. I used to do Taekwondo when I was younger. I started off at Champion Taekwondo Center, which ironically was around the corner from where the gym used to be when it was Boston Muay Thai.
Yep.
By the Strand
By the
Theater.
Strand Theater, yes.
Yeah.
I went to that one. I told you,
Yeah.
I've been to all. I went to the one on Business Street,
Yeah.
and I went to that other one as well too.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm
So
sorry.
I was a young buck. I
Yeah.
didn't even know about it back then. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy because my gym was right around the corner, so it's like fate would happen. I'd find my way back there. But you know, same thing. I started off doing Taekwondo. I was always inspired by martial arts, always passionate about it, and I dropped martial arts for a little while when I was in high school. Started playing basketball,
Yep.
football. You know, getting into other sports. Went to school, but I always said I was going to come back to martial arts. So fast forward, I graduated in 2016. Immediately, I'm like, all right, I'm trying to find a gym. For the same reason, I originally wanted to do MMA. And at the time, Hard Knocks was trying to mingle them both. So I seen the gym, and I think it was like the second gym I had visited. But like something about going into the gym, like they said, the atmosphere, like it was kind of gritty, but also welcoming at the same time. But you knew they were legit.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
sometimes you go to gyms and like they're trying,
Yep.
or maybe they're established up. But I was like, oh no, this spot is like for real. Like they're serious about it. They know what they're doing, and I just felt it. Like if I come here, and I'm dedicated, and like they see that,
Yeah.
I knew they would help me out. And like same thing, like you know all the aspiration. You know I had some thoughts about doing MMA, but something about Muay Thai, like you kind of fall in love with it. You really do. It becomes a lifestyle.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? Bill, let's talk about Bill. What role has Bill played in your lives, right? Because I'm gonna tell you how I met Bill. This Bill just really recently just started talking to me. You know what I mean? Like recently, he just started talking to me, and I used to be like, "Yo, what's up with Bill?" Cause I say, "Hey, how you doing, Bill?" You know what I mean? I come in and say, "Hey, what's up, Bill?" He's like, give me a head nod, and then just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But yo, for whatever, I'd be like, "Yo, Jeezy, what's up with Bill? He don't rock with me or something?" No, I pay my membership fees. You know what I'm saying? Monthly. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Nah, yo, that's how he is, yo. He's feeling you." And then one day, he starts having a full conversation with me. I was like, "Yo, hold on a second, yo."
Feel you out.
You know what I mean? I was like, "Yo, hold on a second, yo, Bill. Okay, what role has Bill? Because I come from I've had great coaches. You know what I mean? People who's influenced me not only in the sport that I was playing, but also in my personal life as well too. What role has Bill played in your life? Steve, go ahead.
So Bill's like a mentor / like father figure to me.
Yeah.
Me personally, we during fight camps we might have our ups and downs where we might clash heads, but that's through like weight cuts and stuff like that where you get a little hangry.
Yeah.
We call it hungry and angry. But he mostly played like the mentor father role to me because like whenever I have something personal going on, I call him and he give me the best advice he could give me. When like he took me like I said, like I'd never been to Kansas before, I'd never been to Vegas before, I'd never been to New York before. There was a lot of places I haven't traveled, and I got to do all this with the sport of Muay Thai and with Bill being right there in my corner. So he kind of like opened up my mind and my eyes to different things. So I appreciate him for a lot for that. So like I said, he's my mentor / like a father figure.
If you don't know who Bill is the owner of Hard Knocks. All right, he's the owner of Hard Knocks, and you're just hearing how he impacting these guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What role has Bill played in your life?
So when I met Bill, he was the president of a chapter of the Rough Riders. I
heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's a state rep for the Massachusetts Rough Rider division. So when I met him, he was starting a chapter in the North Shore because we all lived in the North Shore. And I was 19 years old when I met Bill. So I met Bill through the motorcycle club,
right.
through being in the Rough Riders with him, and
like Rough Riders, Rough Riders. Okay,
yes.
wow, really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah, and at that time, I wasn't training. I've never trained before, and I became really close with Bill. I was. I didn't grow up with a dad or anything, and then he was just really, we got really close in terms of same thing, being a father figure and and a mentor, giving me advice and all that good jazz, and he I always told him I want to start training, I want to start fighting, and I went into the Boston Muay Thai gym, which was on Columbia Road.
Yeah.
And he gave me my first intro, and ever since then, our relationship just skyrocketed from being oh, he's my friend, he's a close friend, to now he's my family,
Right.
And
definitely family.
He has that about him, he's he doesn't seem like he's a very welcoming person at first. You get a little bit of pushback, and then some people's oh, this guy doesn't like me, he's a little, but I'm telling you, man, once he warms up to you, kind of ask him to yo, man, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Too friendly.
A little bit. Yeah, he's let's see. No,
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm totally
Wow.
kidding. No, but that's how he is.
Okay. Ace, go ahead.
Nah, it's kind of the same thing, man. Bill is he's the figure in the gym to all of us. That's he's been in the fight game for a long time.
Yeah.
So he's knowledge.
Was Bill a fighter? Was
Yes.
he one? Oh,
Yes.
really?
Bill is a fighter, and he was also a Northeast champion.
Wow.
Back amateur champion back in the day. So Muay Thai here in Massachusetts kind of had a little rough road being legalized in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
MMA was already legalized in Massachusetts and all that, and it was boxing was legalized in Massachusetts, but Muay Thai, there was a lot of pushback to legalize it. Yeah. And it wasn't up until about a couple of years ago, 3 years ago or so, that we actually are allowed to fight in Massachusetts.
Wow.
You know, so he got in Muay Thai like in the early like 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s. That's when he was fighting, and then after that, Muay Thai kind of got demonized in the state of Massachusetts for some odd reason, but he became a coach and
Wow.
he started coaching people.
And you think like, right, a lot of times Bill is a Caucasian man, right? And as you know, you guys are considered what, like black or
Brazilian,
Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
Was it like a easy, you know, like, yo, was it like a welcoming thing? Like, yo, Bill, I rock with you, bro. You know what I mean? But when you see like, cause you know, sometimes when you see a white guy kind of like off a little bit, you know what I mean? Until, because for me, right, you know, Jack O'Brien, which was like my high school coach, white man, you know what I mean? But he was, a lot of times there's certain people that just didn't really vibe with him because, yo, I don't want this white dude telling me what to do. Was that at any point in time? Was that, did y'all
You
feel
know
like
what?
that?
But all right, and they know. I mean, obviously, they know even more
Yeah.
than me. Bill grew up in Boston, like Dorchester.
I heard, yeah.
So it's not like
He's in the suburbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like, no, he
got
like,
culture.
It's like right off rip, you could tell. Like, all right,
We all go to
he
the
knows
same
what's up.
cookouts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
We all go
for
to
real,
the same
yeah. Like, he
cookouts.
just knows what's up. Like, and you know how it is. Like, same thing. If you grow up in the city, like, it's different though. Like when you grow up in the city, because we're really not separated by that much space. We're
Right.
like, you know, like we're all right there. Like
Yep.
you go 2 blocks over, and it's like another. You know, it may seem like another world, but it's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, but Bill grew up right here, and he's like, and if you see like some of his best friends, like Biggie and stuff, like he's black. Like,
Yo,
he grew-
so Bill was part of the Rough Riders, and
Yeah,
like,
still
Bill
is.
is
Still
part of the
is.
Rough Riders.
Yeah.
He's
wow, that's
the-
crazy.
He's the president. No, he's the state rep, which basically he oversees the whole entire state of Massachusetts in the Rough Rider community.
Wow.
So the Rough Rider community, like, I was in there for like about a year and a half or so, and then I was like, it's like it was too much for me, like going, like traveling and trying to fight and all that and work and all. So I stepped away from it, but like Bill was in it from like the beginning. Like they started the Boston chapter, and then he started a new chapter, and now he oversees the whole like state when it comes to Rough Riders affairs.
Yeah, they do like back to school backpacks giveaway.
Wow.
They do like Christmas giveaways and stuff like that. So Bills do a lot for the community that some people might not know behind closed doors
Wow.
for what his chapter does.
And he
But
doesn't even promote it, man.
No,
like,
Doesn't
he
even
doesn't.
know.
He doesn't like try to go for praise. Like
Yeah.
you never
You
really
never know.
hear him saying, like, "Yo, like I'm doing this." Like like I'm
just
doing
do it.
this. He just
Exactly,
does
he
it.
just do
you
it.
know, he'll help people. Like, and he's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And he's never broadcasted that he's ever
Me
helped
too.
me. And that's the thing with him. Like he'll take the shirt off his back to give it to you.
Yeah.
You know, like and that's a fact. And like that really is. He's a great person. But like yeah. So that's
you know how people like they will do something from the kindness of the heart, but the first thing to do is pull their phone out.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
would do something from the kindness of the heart, wouldn't even think about pulling his phone out or think about making a status or think about bringing it up if y'all have an argument. He won't be like, oh, well, I did this for you. He doesn't do that because everything's come from like
Comes
a
from a
pure
genuine
and
place.
a genuine place. So I believe like he's the type of person that he grows on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when you first meet him, you might be like, oh, this person don't like me because he's walking away. He has like that military/correctional
He was in the
officer
military.
mentality. Like I got to be aware of my surroundings. I got to
Yeah.
know who's in my gym, who's in my area. So he's always on alert doing his rounds in his mind. So you might say hi, he might give you the head nod, but at the same time he's watching everything. So, but once you open up to him, he grows onto you, and then you're like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. So that chemistry will come
Yeah.
over time.
Wow. So you're saying he's a correctional officer?
Well, he is
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, he is?
He is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that guy's jack of all trades, man. He don't sleep.
What?
I mean, and he's a
He's
carpenter.
A veteran. Yeah.
I know.
He's a carpenter with Dr.
yeah.
Will Mills, man.
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
wow. You know what I love about Hard Knocks? You know what I love about it is the fact that all you guys, not only you guys are fighters, but you're our teachers as well too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to know something, but then it's another thing to teach it and be able to deliver it. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of y'all students. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had a killer class on Wednesday, and I was like, oh my
class,
yeah, yeah, it was
legs burning.
it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so is that part of like the training process to not only be able to fight, but also to be able to teach it as well too? Is that like a part of it? Because
Give that question to Flavio.
yeah, go ahead.
Why me? Okay.
Oh, well,
So I feel like once you understand something enough that you can actually teach it to other people,
Right.
not only benefits the person that you're teaching it to, but also benefits yourself as well as a fighter.
Right.
Because it's kind of like a cheat code to like engrave things in your brain, teaching them, speaking them out loud, like demonstrating it and like trying to do them to like as close to perfection as you can as a teacher. That way you can translate into your own personal
Right.
like endeavor of Muay Thai, or if you're teaching like guitar, or if you're teaching anything, like
Yeah.
if you when you understand something enough to teach it, that's a beautiful thing. I feel like. And there are a lot of like teachers out there that don't compete or have never competed, and that's cool. That's all good. But
Yeah.
like, it takes. I don't care if you competed, if you took like one fight. I don't care if you did, but like, I just feel like teaching just brings you to that next extra step into learning the sport.
Right.
And like, you can't, like, in teaching is not for everybody. I really don't
Right.
think it's for everybody.
It's for y'all, man. Like,
Definitely.
as somebody who's like I took every one of y'all classes, right? And all y'all got your own way of teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, Steve, like, I loved your class. You know why I loved it? Because you was saying certain things that, protect the head. What is it that you said again?
Protect your home.
Protect the home.
Yeah.
Protect the home, right? And then you said, if somebody comes into your paint, get out of here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
teep
saying?
'em, yup.
Teep them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like certain things just stick with me because like to be able to, you got to be able to, what's that called? Not only comprehend, but you got to be able to relate. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
visualize.
And I felt like, everybody's class, you're able to relate to them. That's why a lot of people come there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people come. You was going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to piggyback off of what my partner said. It's just that I remember at the old gym, 98 Business Street, he always said, listen, guys, we're getting older, so he said that my goal is to build students up to become pad holders, then also build the pad holders up to become teachers,
Right.
which is senior students. So he just don't teach us to be fighters. He also teaches to become pad holders and also teachers, to the point where one day you might start off being a demonstrator, where they call you to the front, you got to demonstrate the move while the teacher tell you something and you demonstrate it. Then from that, they're like pad holders, where the seniors become pad holders, and then we become like teachers, where they might one day say, hey, listen, this person is out, do you mind stepping up and teaching the class? So that's the Hard Knocks goal, is to create chapters where like I'm under Flavio because he's been doing it longer than me. So I am also an instructor on certain days that they give me, so that's the main goal of the Hard Knock chapter, is to make students become pad holders, and then from pad holders you become instructors.
Wow.
So that's why, like, when we get a new guy come in, we might say, hey, Rooney, go teach this guy how to do, for the beginners class,
Right.
like, the basic
Okay.
drills and stuff like that.
All right. Okay.
That's kind of like just kind of the tradition and culture of martial arts in general too. It's kind of how things work. The student becomes a teacher.
Right.
Have you ever heard that? And it's
Right.
kind of just true there. But it's also because like it takes a village, man. For us to be successful, like we got to work together, man.
Right.
Like when the pandemic hit, we
Yeah.
survived because a lot of us, we were all chipping in, even if in whatever way. And like it's understanding in our gym that not everyone can be there every single day of the week. But if it's like, can you help out on Fridays at this time, even if it's one class, and everyone, like, we do what we can. Some people do more than others. Like these guys, like Flavio does a lot,
Yeah.
and they're not here, but we got to give them a shout out. The ladies at the gym, man.
Absolutely, yes.
Liz,
They crush it.
Alejandra, Jesse, like the girls.
Shout out to Jesse.
Like y'all, we're here representing, but really the girls be holding it down.
They do
The
hold it
women,
down.
excuse
Yeah,
me, hold
yeah.
it down. They really do.
You know what I
They're
also
the
love?
foundation.
There's no ego really, bro. You know what I'm saying? I see like, you're the Northeast champ, right? But also I see
World
you
champ, he's
world
the
champ,
And world champ, right? World champ.
world champ,
Both world champ.
world champ. Yo, but also there's no ego because I'll see you like, you know, like holding pads for Liz. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you like, you know, fixing things around the gym, and I'm like, yo, this he's the champ of the whole joint, but so humble. You know what I mean? So humble, but just does what needs to get done. You know what I mean? Do you ever feel like? Let me ask you this: do you ever feel like, man, I ain't doing that, man? I'm you know what I mean? Like, do you ever feel like that? Like,
Nah, because that's like one thing they installed in us. The thing about Hard Knocks, they installed in you. Listen, we got to hold each other accountable.
right?
Listen, we all a village, so we got to support each other when the fights come. We got to help clean up. Like if we're moving, we got to chip in. You know, everything's like all hands on deck, and like people watch.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that look up to each other in that gym, and I'm like, okay, if Alex is doing, I'm going to do it because we role models to some people that we don't even know that we role models to.
Absolutely.
So there's like we don't have no ego. That's all checked at the door. Even when we spar, there's no ego. It's always like complimenting. Damn, bro, you got me right there.
Yeah.
You know, with that nice little hook or a kick. So I think Hard Knocks, that's like what we specialize in, checking your ego at the door. You come in here to learn. You stay a student. You don't know too much.
Yeah.
So never have your cup too full. If your cup's full, then that's when your ego comes out. But if your cup's not full, you will stay a student and you will always be able to learn new stuff and put your pride to the side.
That's life gems right there that you just kicked.
And how can you have ego when every time like you go into the gym, like, you know, somebody does something to you and you're like, yo, how does this dude did this to me right now, man?
Right.
Like,
I know,
you
yeah.
and it's just like out of nowhere, like it was something like that. You show somebody and then all of a sudden they do it to you, and then they're like, wait a minute, like I showed you this,
Right.
Like,
Right.
So to me, there's like, there's no, you can't. You have to have an ego as a fighter. I really believe that you do have to have an ego. You have to have a chip on your shoulder, otherwise you don't go too far. But
The balance?
you need a balance. You
Yeah.
definitely need a balance on that. You
Yeah.
need to toe that line, because if you let it get to your head, you know, like then it becomes really difficult to find the team that fits you.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't have too much ego in a team, because you don't want to, like, it doesn't work. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like opposites, just like try, like they
Spitting
won't.
that truth
Yeah.
right now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't really work, and that's what's really good about that gym. Like our gym, like we're also glued together, you know, by like friendships and you know, like we're basically family, man. We're all family
Absolutely.
over
Yeah.
there. You know?
Yeah.
I spend more time with these guys than I spend with my own, you know, like my own family, and like these are some of the people that I see the most in my life. So
Right.
Yeah.
if you have ego on that, like it doesn't work.
It's to the point like you be in the gym, you're like, all right, class is over, but then you still find yourself just lingering around.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Just
You know what I
talking,
mean?
hanging
Just
out.
talking.
Yeah.
It's just a family. Like you don't want to leave yet. You know.
That's so
Class
true, because
finish
I
at
found myself
8:30.
doing the same thing as
Yep.
well too.
Yep.
You know, I found myself doing the same thing. You know what time it is? Right now is trivia time, folks. Trivia. All right, let's see if these Muay Thai fighters can answer some of these questions
Oh,
right
here
here.
we go.
Oh boy.
Put us on the spot.
Name
Talk
3 fried chicken stores in Boston.
KFC.
KFC is one of them.
Royal. They close?
I didn't know about Royal. That might be another one. But okay, we'll say Royal. Okay, Royal.
Even though it's Boston, New York Fried Chicken.
New York Fried Chicken.
Chester's Chicken right there in Highland, but I don't think it's there no more.
I had Popeyes.
I was gonna say Popeye. I'm trying to name the local spot.
I had Popeyes.
Oh my goodness, man.
That's what I had. I had Popeyes. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go.
He wanted us to not make weight, guys.
Here we go.
I know, right? We got fights
name-
coming up, right? Got us drooling over here, man.
Name 2 rappers with the last name Carter. Oh,
Other than Sean.
Sean
Look.
Carter's one of them.
Lil Wayne.
Oh. Okay. All right. Back. We back. All right. December 3rd. December 3rd is you guys' next fight.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be at where at? Wilmington?
Yes,
Wilmington,
Shriners
Mass.
Auditorium.
Yeah.
Well, what's it called?
Shriners.
Shriners Auditorium, and all 3 of you guys are on
Yes, sir.
on the fight.
Yes, big
Let me
thrill.
ask you guys this, right? How are you training in preparation for this next bout? You know, you can go first.
He said, "How we training hard, man? That's how we training." Now,
Okay.
but no, I mean, it's classic Muay Thai, man. It's heavy, hard pad sessions. It's a lot of cardio. If you're a fighter, for anybody out there who's aspiring to be a fighter, you know, if you're thinking about it, if you just started out, your cardio is very important.
Right.
You know, lifting and all that stuff is important, but cardio is very important. And drilling, you have to drill a lot.
What's your line, Ace?
So what's my line? All gas, no brakes.
All gas,
That's
no
that
brakes.
cardio.
Okay. How are you getting prepared?
Same thing, you know, like working out at the gym, training, going in there, sparring. I also do my strength and conditioning with the GOAT, Mike Perry, over at Skill of Strength.
Wow.
So I go over
That's
there.
where you learn all that stuff from?
from over
Cause
there.
yo, you be doing some stuff. Be like, yo, the
I'll tell
other
you,
day,
Fabio
I was
be
like-
having you
I was
on
like,
fire.
Oh my gosh,
On
Listen,
fire,
man,
legs
hold the
burning,
squat,
arms
hold
burning, abs.
yo, the other day, hold on, the other day, this is a true story. We did bear crawls, right? And I've never did bear crawls before, right? And I remember we was going like the full length of the gym, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this no more, right? I can't do this no more. But then I got home. I didn't stretch. Usually I stretch. Yo, I cramped up. I cramped up. And when I mean like, yo, it was a great workout. I felt real good. But I was like, yo, I've never did this ever in my life. Anybody who's thinking about, if you just want to, lose weight or you just want to be in better shape, you don't have to be a Muay Thai fighter.
Right.
Come to the gym.
Right.
And you can learn something too.
can learn,
You
yes.
you can get in shape while learning something instead
Right.
of just going to, to a regular gym and just like, oh, let me do some curls and like get on the treadmill,
Yeah.
And I understand that. Well, to me, that becomes very mundane and it becomes super boring.
Yeah.
So I need something that gets my attention.
Yeah.
And even if you don't ever want to fight, ever, just come see us, or just go to any gym, just go to any martial arts gym, Muay Thai gym,
Right.
or like an MMA gym or a jiu-jitsu gym, go learn something, because not only is it gonna put you in in a better physical condition, but your mental state is gonna be better.
Right,
Your
right.
confidence is going to be better.
Right.
And I feel like that translates into your whole entire life.
Absolutely.
Just
Big facts.
learning how to deal with your own body and deal with struggle.
Right. And that's why, honestly, that's why I said this before. I took this very seriously because, I'm in this transition in my life, man. So, I'm constantly fighting, whether it's, just, it could be a fight within myself. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't even want to really go to this gym. I don't really want. But then I'm like, yo, go ahead. You know what I mean? Go. And then I find myself, you know what? I got to make those extra phone calls. I got to reach out to this person. I got to create content for my podcast. So you're absolutely correct. It helps you in all other areas of your life as well, too. Let me ask you guys this, right? For this next fight, do you guys study films on your opponent? Who you about to fight?
Yeah. We call
Okay.
that homework. That's called homework. You got to do your homework.
Yeah.
So the homework is considered, all right, how your opponent look when they first come out,
Yeah.
and how they look in the fifth round. Do they fight with their mouth open in the fifth round? Do they gas out? So when you study your opponent, what you're doing homework, you try to have little ideas of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
All right, does my opponent have balance? When I catch his kick, does he fall, or does that person fall, or does that person have a strong 1-2? Does the person drop their hand? So you try to find what they call it, a chink in their armor. You try to find whenever you do your homework. That's what you're looking for, them small little holes that you could pick apart and create a massive crack.
So
in
how
their
long
fight game.
how long does that film sessions take? Or do you watch it alone? Do you watch it with Bill? How does that?
So I do both. I watch it alone, and then I bring it to my coach. Like, hey, Bill, this person, he drops his hand when he throws a hook, and then Bill would watch the tape, and then he'll come up with his own critique and stuff like that, and then we come up with a conclusion. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna fight this person? Is this fight gonna be a kicking fight? Or this person gonna be a clinch fight? Or this person gonna be a brawl fight? So we come up with different ideas by watching the tape, watching 4 or 5 of the guys' fights.
So, all right, let me ask y'all this, right? I've never been an actual I've been in a fight, street fight, but never in an actual okay, I'm about to go into a fight, go into this ring on purpose, about to get into a fight. What's the mindset, bro? That you're going in there. You know what I mean? What's your What's your mindset? I always wanted to ask fighters this, like, yo, what's the mindset that you're going in when you're going into that ring? Because anything could happen in there. Like, what's your mindset? I want to hear from all three of you guys. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Flavio.
It's like the weirdest feeling in the world, man. Like, it really is.
Definitely
You know,
weird.
it's a weird feeling that I have not yet been able to replicate. Like, I've jumped out of a plane before.
You jump up in the plane?
Yeah, and like that was not even close to what it is like to be when you're on deck. When they come, bro, let me tell you something. Like, when you're about to, like, when you're in the locker room and
butterflies.
you're warming up, and then you know, like, you're hitting mitts, you're hitting pads, warming up, get your gear on, and then all of a sudden they come in, Flavio, you're on deck, or Alex, you're on deck, or Steve, you're on deck, whatever it is. Yo, that gets real. Like, that's like, it's just like, oh man, like I'm about to step out, you know, in front of
Millions of
all
people.
my peers, my friends, all these people, you know, like, and get into a fist fight with somebody that I don't know, you know,
Right,
and that's like the and confidence like plays a big role in that too, but it's also the unknown, you know, so you're always like thinking about the unknown, and you're trying to keep that locked in so it doesn't affect your performance, you know.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, right? When does it go away?
Oh, when that bell
Never.
rings.
When that bell rings, it's like
like
in the
when it
fight.
goes away at that fight, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when the bell rings, when you get hit,
when you get hit,
or
it's
when
like,
you hit them.
okay, and then you're like,
Yeah.
all right, let's
do this.
Let's
Yeah.
do this. But
Yeah.
before that, it's like it's just the
Yeah,
butterflies.
the anxiety, the
It's because you don't
preparation.
know. You know when you get close to an edge,
Yeah.
like, and it's like a really tall edge,
Yeah.
and then you kind of like look down, and then you just like you're just like, wait a minute, what's going on here? like why am I feeling like this?
Right.
You know, and then like you take a step back, and then that kind of goes away.
Mm-hmm.
But then like that, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense.
You
Yes,
know?
absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
My just to piggyback on that, my mindset is like I told you guys before, I was incarcerated. So whenever I'm in a ring, I pretend like I have this little slogan I say to Bill, like, let's take it back to the yard. So take it back to the yard is basically like, you know, when you lock in with somebody, you and the person go into this little small cell, and you guys shoot the fair ones.
Right.
So every time I step in the ring, I look at it as like me taking it back to the yard, me shooting the fair ones with somebody in the ring. I look at the referee as the correctional officer, saying like, okay, one of us is going to leave out of this room, either alive or, you know, knocked out or whatever. But only the correctional officer, which is the ref, could stop this fight. So that's my mindset. Every time I'm in the ring, you know, I get the butterflies, you know, I get like the little trembling, little feeling, you know, or
Yeah.
I just tell Bill, like, it's that time, right? He's like, yeah, take it back to the yard. And then I don't know, it's like a little switch just clicks, like, okay, you about to shoot the fair one with this guy right here
Yeah.
in the ring. Pretend the ring is your cell. You guys gonna bang it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Gates, go ahead.
It's the same thing. Like, so me, like, you know, I have less fights than both of them. You know what I mean? Like, they got more experience than me. But it's the same thing. Like, when I ask them, like, you realize after a while, like, the butterflies never go away.
Yeah.
And like when you listen to pros and like, and first I was like, man, like, you know, I was a couple fights in and I'm like, you know, I still get nervous. But then I realized, you know, it's okay. It's just, you learn that you do it anyways. You do it nervous, you go with it, and it's a normal thing. Cause you listen to any pro fighters, a lot of fighters, they still get some sort of butterfly. Like, you're going to feel something. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going into a fight.
Right.
You're going to fight another human being. And it's not just like your conscious mind that knows it. It's like your body is like on alert.
Yeah, because your heart rate goes up.
Yeah, your heart rate is up. Your body knows that fight or flight thing, it kicks in, and your body's like, okay, we're about to get into something real serious right now. And your body starts to react. But like they said, is like, whatever it is, whether it's like the first time you get hit or going back to your past or whatever, it's like once the bell rings, it's like, then now that's where the training comes into play. That's why you got to go hard in training, because now it's just muscle memory. It's like, this is what I've been doing, you know. So things come into play. And it's like when you're a beginner, you kind of have that tunnel vision. You know, it's like you have the blinders on. But with each fight, it's like your scope and your ability to see things in the ring and be more present in the moment.
Yep.
It becomes a little more great, and you're able to become a little bit more present in the moment each time.
So the more fights you have, the more comfortable you are with it.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
more
fact.
familiar. Yeah, it's like you can be yourself a little bit more
Yeah.
each time.
Okay, so you ever play basketball?
Yes.
All right, so you know when you play basketball, you get the butterflies.
Yes.
Everything seems so fast.
Yep.
Like you trying to run the triangle offense. I mean
Yep.
the triangle whatever defense.
Yep.
All right, and then you trying to like
Triangle offense.
Yeah, you trying to go into your in your position and stuff like that, and everything seems so fast. Like the person passed you the ball, next you know you're fumbling with the ball and
Right.
stuff like that. But the more you play basketball, now you get to slow things down in your mind. You can see the ball come. You can set up your shot without rushing. So the thing about fighting is you're always constantly like rushing in your mind. That's why you see guys when the amateur first fight, they come out blazing in the first round. Like they gas their stuff out in the first round.
First
More-
30 seconds.
More right. More like when you see a pro fighter or a person that not even a pro fighter, a person that have a lot of fights, they come out slow, nice and calm because they know how to slow things down in their mind where they can see the punch coming. They compare everything rather than just come out just brawling. So that's what it is. The more fights you get, the more you get to slow things down in your mind where you can see things coming.
But you never stop getting nervous.
Never.
Right, yeah, you never do.
You're always gonna have that. I don't know if I can say this on air, but you always gonna want to pee. You know what I mean? Like I gotta use the bathroom.
I know, right?
Oh,
Again, yo, that's the
yeah.
body
Like,
reacting. That's
yo.
a real thing.
Really?
Like when you go,
Yeah,
and then you
5
go and you
times.
think it's gonna, because it feels like you wanna, like you really wanna, like
Go.
really go, right?
Yeah.
And then you go and it just goes,
Trinkle.
and then
Yeah.
it's like a little, I'm like, yo, that's this, man.
I'm telling you, it's a real thing. Your body reacts. Your body's like, what's about to happen? So, I mean, that's a real thing. And like, I mean, you can get all technical, but if you go to science, like it says that your body's like, all right, I need to release everything because we need to get ready to run. Like that's just primitive.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. Like that's an interesting thing about fighting is like it taps into like the most like basic of human like emotion and feeling. I feel like.
We got to go into our sponsors right now. Big shout out to the good folks over at Talk to 'em Apparel. That's at Shop Talk to 'em, at Green 2 Clean LTD. That's their Instagram handle. At CC Gains 2, Community Capital Gains 2. All right. If you have a business, if you're looking to, get some type of funding for your business, those are the good people to hit up over at Community Capital Gains. And of course, our good folks, Eats with Ree. All right. She makes some fabulous food. Fabulous food. Let me ask y'all this, right? What separates you from other fighters in your division? What separates you from other fighters from in your division?
You want to know what I think it is
Yes.
to start off with?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
and this is probably the reason why we all stayed at Hard Knocks. I think it comes down to our training.
Your training.
Honestly, I mean that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like we got a lot of wisdom behind us. Like, because Bill's not just giving us what he knows; he's giving us what was taught to him.
Right.
And then from there he made it his own, and then passed that on, and then he passed that on to Jake Manini. Shout out to Jake.
Yeah.
Who's he's an up and coming coach. Well known in the New England area.
Right.
Same thing. He kind of takes things and puts a little twist on it too. But I mean, to me, that's like the key staple. Obviously, there's other things like who you are as a person and individual, whatever. But to me, that's just like a key thing. It's like being able to trust that. Like I know I'm getting good training.
Yo, big shout out to Jake, man. He does some incredible work, man.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
Technician.
Oh, Jake's
Yes, sir.
unbelievable, man.
Was he
Jake's
was a
unbelievable.
fighter as well too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pro
when
fighter.
When I started back in Boston Muay Thai, Jake was a teammate. He was kind of like what I am now, but back then,
Right.
he was already training for a few years. His record as an amateur was unreal. He had I believe he was like 17-1 as an amateur.
Yeah.
And then I believe he lost like his third or fourth fight, and then never lost again after that, as an
Really?
amateur. And he turned pro, and then became more of a coaching, taking on like a coaching role, which to us, selfishly, that was the best thing that could
I
happen
know.
because he's such an amazing coach, man.
Yeah.
He's working with guys in the UFC right now.
Yep.
He works with guys in other organizations. Guys that are fighting in Glory, guys that are fighting in Bellator, guys at PFL, all that.
Cage Titan.
Cage Titans as well. And you branched out to working with all MMA fighters as well in their striking game and so that selfishly that was the best thing that could have happened to us.
Wow.
was also Jake taking more of a coaching role and becoming like a head coach for all of us as well. He definitely changed my game. He changed my game from when I came back. I took like a 2.5 year hiatus because of an injury, and when I came back, like he like took more of my training and he completely changed me as a fighter.
Let me ask you the same question. What separates you from fighters from in your division?
I think that everyone that's stepping in the ring with you, they're comparable to you in one way or another. Like if you're making that walk, man, you deserve my respect. I think the biggest thing that separates a person from another is just like life experiences, right? And then like mindset, really. Like, the way that you approach your training, the way that you approach your career, the way you approach your life outside of training, which heavily influences your life inside of training. And I just think that is life experiences like mold people into better fighters or worse fighters.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest difference between all of us.
Wow. Let me ask you this, Steve, right? The internet went into a frenzy, right? After this stunning tornado kick that it almost looked like a video game when I watched it. It's almost like you press turbo, boom, spinning kick, bang. Like, if you have not seen this, right? If you have not seen this kick, it was being, retweeted by Shaq. It was being retweeted by a lot of, celebrities because it was just an amazing kick, right? What was going through your mind at that time, if you can recall? Like, what was going through your mind, yo?
So that day in Kansas, so I want to say, like, usually whenever I hit pads or see, like, a move, maybe Alex or one of the students do or Flavio do, like, I always put something, I call it my database. I put it inside my brain.
Right.
And then, I don't know, for some reason, some stuff comes out when the time's right. So Alex was doing that tornado kick. One day we was in the gym, he was showing me how to do it. I think he had like them little taekwondo pads.
Yeah.
He was telling me how to have my heels, how my heels supposed to be. All right. So I kind of did it Alex way, but then again I did it Bill's way. Bill added like a little Muay Thai sauce to it. He said, "What I want you to do, I want you to kick the pad, then I want you to fake the rear kick, and then do the tornado kick." So that was Bill's way.
Wow.
Bill said, "Don't just throw the tornado kick. Set it up with something." So, we set it up with a rear kick. I kicked my opponent, I want to say 2 times, and then he was stunned. And then that's when I did the fake and ran right into the tornado kick. It was perfectly placed because the way how my opponent was against the ropes, that's how Bill be with the pad. So it kind of like muscle memory.
Wow.
It just happened, just flowed.
That was amazing, man. I was watching, I was like, oh, man, thank God I ain't that guy.
I couldn't believe he pulled that off.
I was like, oh my gosh, that looked like it hurt. Like,
That was not good.
That looked like it really hurt. We only got like about 3 minutes left, right? If you could have a dream fight, right, with any opponent, who would it be?
I want Simon Marcus.
Marcus.
Yeah, he's badass. But I always like picture me fighting him and Joe Schilling. Those 2 guys. I don't know why, but I'm like, I think I'm on their level.
Yeah.
Well, if I get
think
beat,
you are, bro.
If I get beat by them,
For
it's
sure.
a good fight.
Yeah.
Joe Schilling, he got like a crazy switch kick. He loves switch kick. And Simon Marcus, he has a nasty left kick. He's an aggressive fighter, but I think I have like a little bit of both of them in me. So those are 2 guys I want to fight.
So let me ask you guys this, right? We only got like, how much time we got left?
1 minute and 30 seconds.
1 minute and 30 seconds. What do you guys want to be remembered when, what do you want to be remembered for at the end of your career? Go
As a
ahead.
Muay Thai fighter,
Yeah, what do you want to be remembered for?
at the end, man, I'm hoping that when people see me fight, and I'm still trying to grow into the fighter that I want to be, but when people, at the end of this, I want people to be like, this guy I want to like embody like what it means to not give up and determination. I'm hoping that people can see that and intensity.
Okay. What about you, brother?
I just want to go out thinking that, like I did the best I could, and I got as far as I could with what was provided to me.
Okay.
And then, even not using what was not provided to me, even if things
a
that
big one,
like
yeah.
I went and I kind of scooped it along
Right.
the way, you know, and that's what I want to like eventually finish my career with is like I found something that I love, I'm good at it, and I did my best.
Okay, Steve, real quick, we're wrapping up.
I just want to let people know that I want to be remembered as like it's never too late to change. No matter if you have a past or not, you can always change.
Absolutely.
So that's what it is.
Yo, folks, don't forget December 3rd in Wilmington. What's the name of the auditorium?
Shriners Auditorium.
Shriners Auditorium. How can people purchase their tickets? How can they purchase their tickets?
Eventbrite.com. And
Eventbrite.
just type up Lion Fight. 72.
Eventbrite.com, Lion Fight. Folks, I'm going to leave you with a quote. I believe you can speak things into existence. It's by my main man, Jay-Z.
Amen.
I'm your main man, Jay. Live, love, light. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pesa.